ultimate black, right, for the trim and whatnot in lotion form that you guys are familiar with. How about spray-on version? This is not the detailer line product, by the way. Okay, was it 4610? 4510? Yeah, it is not that repackaged for consumer. We've got pictures of this on what, 5 months old? It's like
anybody see that?
Popping up on Instagram here.
Yeah. That's legit too. Yeah.
5 months old. I think Nick got tired of the front bumper. Hey guys, how's it going? Come on in, have a seat. Nick got tired of the front bumper of his truck looking half and half after so long. He went in and replaced, like, guys, I can't keep driving around my truck looking so. There have been questions on the forum about final wipe down and all that kind of stuff, or spraying it onto an applicator and working it in. Spray it on, walk away. Okay. Durability is ridiculous for restoring that black plastic trim. It's fantastic. I love this. They've got a Ford Focus, and the only black plastic trim they have is on the roof rails. Right? Just that little recess and what's effectively the rain gutter. It's like, well, how do I? Do you really want to buy this whole can just for those two little? That's all. I said, you go to Home Depot and you can get the masking, the rolls of masking plastic. Really, that already have the tape on them. Just lay that down on one side, lay it down on the other side, unroll it, your mask, spray it,
Or by the sponges.
Or by the sponges. Yeah, but he really wanted this just on, you'd think if you had an Xterra or something like that.
My Infinity has those roof rails.
Then we need to come up with we'll just get out of the paint defender kit, right? The pre-taped plastic masks.
Before we go to the next
sure.
one on the black, if you accidentally get some on paint, how fast do you get it off?
You want to get it off fairly quick, but it comes off pretty easy as long as it's still wet when you get it on. I would work those edges first and have a towel handy and wipe that off as you go, and then kind of work it and spray the rest of it if you've got larger areas. If you're thinking on your Mini on the wheel arches, I'd tape off around the arches first just to play it safe.
How does it look compared to the 4510? Does it look similar?
It will, especially if you've got kind of aged stuff that's looking a little nasty. I think it'll probably make it a little blacker than the 4510 will overall. Yeah.
It'll last super longer?
Oh, it'll definitely last longer than 4510, and it will dry to the touch faster and more thoroughly than 4510. 4510 is good stuff, but it's it's got its limitations. It's not designed to be super crazy durable stuff, and that's exactly what this is. Almost like the ultimate black coating that we've got on the tires.
Yeah.
Pump that up even a notch for plastic trim. Okay, that same sort of technology going there more for the plastic trim, rather than rubber that's got the flex and all that kind of stuff. Sorry. Oh. All right. Hey, what's happening, man? Come on in, have a seat, bud. New car scent, plastic and vinyl dressing. It's a natural shine, supreme shine kind of product, but with a new car scent to it. Shine's kind of in between the two, leaning towards natural shine. So it's not real high gloss, but it keeps that. We actually had so much success with the new car scent in the air refresher. And people, that's like one of the things that we seem to find people asking for over and over and over and over again. What do you got that's got new car scent to it? I want that new car scent in my old car. Bring it back. I want it gone. And the air refresher actually does a fantastic job. Have any of you guys actually used the air refresher?
I have.
And?
I love it. It's great.
But you wanted a different scent.
Well, what I did first, I cleaned everything, then I did a couple of ozone treatments with an ozone generator. Because I'd been smoking cigars in the thing for 7 years. So that got rid of most of it. And then the new car scent, it smelled great in there. Of course, I'm desensitized to the smoke smell, so even if I got in it and there was still some smell left over.
I stuck my head in your truck and I didn't.
Yeah, I fired another one off.
Interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
That was too much of right.
Well, there were jokes about it being called a car bomb.
Well, I did in what, June?
Like that.
So how do those work? You just
Yeah, I couldn't fire it off.
Quite literally, yeah. There's a trigger that depresses and holds itself down.
Outside.
So it's like a bud bomb in the house.
On a while, and then you turn the air on, and it smells at least for the first few minutes.
It will. Well, it's not just dispersing a scent. Don't think of it as just a scent that's getting dumped out. The technology that we have in our odor eliminator spray product, right, that actually microencapsulates the source of the odor, that's great if you can actually get it on the source of the odor. But as you well know, especially when you're smoking cigars in the truck, a lot
Which
of
I don't do
odors
anymore.
will.
Good for you.
Yeah, but we have these now. You can keep smoking. Those smells can permeate pretty much everything in the car, right? Because the headliner, fabric seats get into the HVAC system and everything. So really the recommendation is engine running, the air on with the fan on high, recirculate, and set this in a central location in the car. In a four-door car, you set it on the tunnel right down on the floor in front of the back seat. Hit the button, close the doors, walk away, let it go until it's done, and then roll the windows and let the thing, or open the doors and let it kind of air out a little bit. But it uses that same micro-encapsulating technology to encapsulate and get rid of the odors rather than just blowing some fancy smell in the air.
It's pretty strong for the first 2 days.
It can be a bit, yeah. Yeah, and it's a little tricky getting something that works and having the scent in there with, because you get this stuff in concentrate, right? And you can't. Yeah. Funny it looks like.
Can you turn it off halfway through for 2C cars?
Try it, let us know how it works.
2-car minimum.
Leave the top down while you're using it in your car.
But the headliner.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you should, yeah.
Oh.
Anybody got an RV or a boat? Yeah, great, especially after they've been stored for the winter. I think that's something that maybe we weren't even really thinking about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden in that market, I'm talking to our marine guys, they're like, oh man, boat owners just go crazy for this stuff. Big RVs, throw 2 of them in there and set them on. And run. Oh, and they don't, for as much as 10 minutes worth of them discharging, they don't soak the headliners. Nothing gets wet inside the car. You don't get that. There's like no fallout on the seats or anything like that. Not a concern at all. But 2 new scents this year, right? We had the new car. We have the Citrus Grove and Summer Breeze. Nobody's singing it.
Summer breeze.
There you go.
I thought that would have happened.
You might have just dated yourself right now.
Yeah.
Anybody that's laughing is right there with you.
Dated myself for 18 months one time.
And moving right along. Oh, the new car scent also in wipes for the. That was a nice trick there to see if I was paying attention.
I don't know why I put it over there.
I don't know why you put it over there either. We are going to give you guys a demonstration of the new Perfect Clarity Headlight Restoration Kit.
Ooh.
There's 2 kind of major components in this that are both pretty new to us. Rather than using sandpaper, we're actually using essentially a Scotch-Brite type scuff pad, along with a scuffing cleaning solution that together work to pull all that oxidation, all that crud off the lenses. And you guys have all seen lenses getting sanded down and you end up with a nice, evenly kind of frosted look to them. And then you buff that out, skip the buffing. We've got a UV protective spray that literally right after you've done this, cleaned them off, the lenses are looking scuffed, you spray this on, and it's almost like spraying on a UV protective clear coat. Well, it's not almost like it is, because that's what you're doing. Treat it like a spray paint, right, as you're putting it on, and we're looking at, what, a year's worth of visibility probably out of
ASTM
this?
certified 1 year against UV.
Yeah.
Wow. From browning or turning
Yeah.
yellow or anything. That's outside labs.
But once it wears off, does it go back to being foggy?
Yeah.
You'll just, it'll begin to turn is what
Yeah.
happens.
But so it's not masking it, meaning it's like it's not like a plastic that just comes off and it goes back to the way it was.
No, you'll end up with effectively a slow degradation of the coating.
Like normal.
Yeah, you'd have to go back and do it again. But quite honestly, if you were to, even if you were to use a clear coat spray paint on your headlights, right? Automotive aftermarket body shop type, if you buff those headlights out to where they were perfectly smooth, you couldn't spray that clear coat on, it wouldn't stick. It's just like in a body shop, when they're respraying a panel, they're doing a spot repair, but they have to re-clear the whole panel. They end up scuffing that whole
Yeah, you
panel, otherwise
scuff it.
paint won't stick to it.
Yeah.
You can't spray paint on a glass smooth surface, it won't stick. So, while it almost seems like, wait, I'm gonna leave the lens like that and I'm gonna shoot this clear cut,
Yeah.
it seems crazy. It's gonna look terrible. In reality, you need to have that scuffed surface in order for it to work. And Mike's gonna do a demo of this on a lens out here, and it's pretty doggone cool.
It's funny because you hear people talk and give feedback on, let's call it all the headlight systems that are out there, and there's a lot of them. You guys have restored plenty of headlights. There's no real key to it or trick to it, right? Multiple steps, you polish it out, there it is, looks great. So what happens after a certain amount of time, typically for a DIYer, you guys, is it'll start to degrade again. No secret, right? So how can we simplify that process and extend the durability? That is exactly where that product came from. Simplify the process and extend that durability. And we're shooting for 1 year, and that's why we sent it outside to an outside lab and said, force this testing for 1 year, put it under UV, do whatever you need to do. ASTM certified 22, I have no idea what that code means, but it is, we're super excited on this, because when you guys see it, you're gonna go, I see smoke and mirrors, what's happening, but it's pretty, it's almost like, remember the first time you experienced clay and you went, wow. That kind of gives you that same wow factor, like what's happening here? Why is it working so good? Then you start to kind of breathe in and understand what's taking place, and you're like, where's this been my whole life? Really, it's pretty amazing.
And we're looking at MSRP on this of,
I think it's $19.99,
Okay.
just under 20.
And how many cars are you getting out of that?
2. There's enough.
4 lights?
Yeah, 4 lights or / 2 cars.
How does it smell?
The aerosol or
Typical good smell.
the aerosol or the compound?
Either one.
Compound's good. Aerosol, you're going to want to put it into a open area because you still got to have that transfer method to get it from A to B, and you're still going to have that, and then stuff's going to flash off. So it is VLC compliant, no issues there, but don't close up your garage in 120-degree weather and start breathing heavy.
Yeah, you wouldn't
May
do that
not be a
with-
good idea.
with all the spray
Okay.
paint.
Do you see it being made in the detailing line for like to be sold for
You know, if
detailers?
it's one of those things, if we get if enough people are going, dude, I gotta have this stuff by the whatever.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
by
okay. So we all have to go
There's enough.
buy it. Okay.
There's enough call for it, yeah.
Yeah, obviously there's products in the pros right now, and a lot of times you gotta UV, IR them, cure them, do all the special things. They're out there now, but just kind of we want to target that consumer first because they're the ones that are kind of barking the loudest, and you know they're the ones that need a solution. You know, that's who we're going after, and you can't bring all that technology to a DIYer in his garage to do. It'll never work. So we're trying to kind of merge that two together and make it simple and easy to use and air dry. I'll show you outside.
Is it still a 2-step sanding process?
No, it's the scuffing solution and a Scotch-Brite pad. But that brings me to exactly the next thing that I was going to say, and that is, knowing you guys in this room, right? You are a little more sophisticated, shall we say, than the average guy out there who's like, what do I simplify it and extend the protection, right? For you guys, a lot of you guys, you won't think twice about busting out the sandpaper and sanding down a couple of headlights, right? Starting with 1,000 grit or 800 grit or 500 grit if you need to because they're so bad. But then what are you putting on those lenses when you're done? You're taking those things to 3,000 grit, you're buffing them out, they look fantastic, and now what? You started sanding with 500 grit, that factory color is gone. Do all of that, but stop at your 3,000 grit, you might even be able to stop at 1,500 grit.
Squirt that on.
And then buy the kit, set aside the scuffing solution and the pads, and just use the aerosol protectant.
Wink, wink. We might have already tried that a couple times. Wink, wink.
Why wouldn't it work? What?
The lens protectant that came with the old kit?
Oh, the headlight protectant that
Can
came
you
with the
put
old
that
kit?
on top of that and make it hopefully last?
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Okay. And you're not going to get the double benefit of putting the two together. This, you want that surface clean. I wouldn't have some of the coating like that on top of it then to try and spread this onto it. Okay, you've created that bite with the scuff or with your final sanding. Don't don't sand, if you're gonna do multiple step sanding, don't get to 3000 grit and then bust out your rotary and buff those headlights to perfection and then spray this on. It's gotta have something to bite to. It's not gonna stick, you're not gonna be happy. You leave it sanded.
And you don't want to start sanding and polishing on this once it's laid down. It lays down pretty darn flat. The reason we say that is because we tested it. It doesn't like to be sanded and polished, just let it go. Good question on 10 to 15 minutes dry to the touch. 24 to 48 hours, do not get it wet. Then you're golden from there.
What if you hit it with a buffer days later?
Don't do it.
It'll mess it up.
Doesn't like it.
And then,
We wax anything?
You can, yeah, you can put wax on it. Well, I've worked ultimate compound with my fingers and stuff, but it doesn't start getting, it doesn't like the heat, hot,
Yeah.
friction. It doesn't like all of that.
Oops, I just screwed up
Well, it wouldn't happen that quick. You know. Oh well, I take that back. We'll pad rotary.
So,
maybe.
well, no, I get that.
Be careful.
Yeah.
and then would you be able to extend the life of it? Like say you put the paint protection on top of it to, like say after it cures like a month later, you put that on and extend the life of that? Would that be possible?
Sure, that's going to help it, but
Mhm.
don't expect, you know, now you're getting two different components and two different technologies kind of working towards each other. So would it help? Sure, but it's not going to get 365 additional out of it.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, I won't turn it into a 2-year thing by doing that.
Yeah, like I'm about to start offering
Nice try, though.
I'm about to start offering 2-year package. That's right.
What do you do on leap year though? Remember?
A year down the line, you want to redo it, how easy it is to discuss.
Clean it back off. It comes off. Just almost start from scratch over, and it actually comes off easier than that original UV coating. But you got to go back to that clean pad, specialize it, and almost scuff it back up.
Yay.
Wow. Yay, just holding up the product. Feel the label. It's so good at beating water on the label. Kidding. Beating water on the label.
Oh, put it on.
Put it on all.
Okay. What's going on?
Maybe it's so hot, it's like he's not focused.
No! All right, so what is this all about?
Attention to detail.
Don't worry about
What
it.
is this all about? Check that out. Look at that. You won't even wait for me to come around in front of your table, will you? Jeez.
Boy, is fancy.
Huh? All right. So Paint Protect, 365 days of polymer paint protection.
Ah, do that again. Can you do that again? Just kidding.
Huh?
So can you do that again?
What?
Can I put it so I can, so everybody can see?
Can you get it? Can you feel it?
Had a lot of meetings.
Can you see that's got 3D?
I don't go around
A little bit, but
Dark shiny red. All right. So, this is, and we've mentioned this on the forum, this is really about, I like that.
It's like rib for her pleasure.
One of them trap.
I was thinking that.
All right.
Stop.
This is, as you can see, it's a very, very thin viscosity. It's not that much different from water on this product. So application, well, we control that because this actually is not the cap that's going to be on the production piece. It's going to be a screw-off cap with a membrane on it that's just got a little pinhole in it, so you can just squirt it out. Hand application, machine application, either way is fine. Okay. It does not haze like a traditional wax, so don't sit there waiting for it to haze over and do a swipe test. This will never pass this. We'll also tell you that we partnered with a major American tool manufacturer that's been doing this for a long, long, long time.
That's a short term.
Oh, man! Shows how much you know.
We did not say the tool was $69, okay?
No,
special tonight.
we partner with a major American tool manufacturer that's been building high quality tools for a long, long time.
So
Pardon me?
Milwaukee made?
I don't think the cord's any longer.
It actually is.
Is it?
It's 10-foot cord.
It's a 10, okay. Okay. So we had a lot of demands on this thing, okay?
And this was not a tool that major trusted tool manufacturer supplies now, and you won't find this tool anywhere in the market by anybody. This was started from scratch, designed from scratch, with their help of tool manufacturing and our help of what you want and what you want and what you want and what we know. That's how this thing came to mind. So you will not see this in another color, in another brand. You know, just to confirm, because we have heard some rumors already that, oh, that's just a so-and-so, but no, it's actually not.
Yeah.
You know, we're pretty proud of that too, so. Yeah, bonjour.
Did you get the copyright on it?
Late December.
Go
we're
absolutely, yeah.
shooting for?
We own all the
Yeah.
IP, we own all the.
There's
That's our
one other thing on the vertical shaft on that. Virtually every
Yeah.
DA's got two bearings down low on that shaft, and if you're putting a lot of pressure down and you're putting in a bit of an angle, you're putting some stress on that shaft. It's putting some stress on those two bearings. We've actually got a third bearing that's up high on this thing that kind of isolates and locates that spindle, and really the design intent is to save the life of those two lower bearings, but the fact that we're locating and isolating that shaft helps to smooth things out a little bit too. So I think you'll find, because you're going to be working on Bob's car out here, he was happy enough to. Now, you're not going to be able to be checking for defects on Bob's car because A, it doesn't have any, and B,
There's two.
there's two. Get rid of them. But
Just run some
you will get a
1500 over it
feel.
real quick?
You'll get a feel for how smooth this. You know, use a scouring pad on Bob's car. You're not going to use M317 on Bob's car, but you will get a feel for how smooth this thing operates and what that thing's like in your hands. It's a nice tool to use. It really is a nice tool to use. And
We can use it to put on the 365.
sure you can. And I say that with the brand taken off my shirt, it's just a nice tool. It really is. And it cuts like crazy. If you've got this thought in your head, gee, why didn't you go with a taller stroke? Our intent was not to play in somebody else's sandbox, right? It was fill a huge gap that exists and lean that way on a professional level and lean price-wise a little bit more to the less expensive tool. It's a lot easier jump price-wise to get a lot more punch out of your tool.
As well as making a safe tool, you know, for everybody.
Yeah.
You put one of those big 21s in some people's hands that may not be, you know, it's starting to be a little, it's a great tool, fantastic tool for what it does. It can sometimes get a little away from some people that may not be as comfortable as others with a big tool like that. So we really wanted to open that up and make sure people, anybody that picked it up would be safe with it, but give you that cutting ability. And we're also forgetting the liquids, the pads, the microfibers, all that stuff you can add to a 8mm. We were doing foam pad and pulling 3,000 grit out. I mean, you got lots more room to push there, you know.
We weren't using our most aggressive pad that you can put on a DA. We weren't using our most aggressive liquid that you can put on a DA, and we're pulling sanding marks out of ceramic clear paint.
Pretty easily too.
Yeah, we were
And-
telling ourselves to do it.
On
5800, moderate pressure. We weren't even spinning the tool to its max.
And for 2015, are we gonna see anything else new that Meguiar's introduces?
Right now, this is our 2015 products. The professional side of the business is always continually launching stuff. So you may see some more stuff come out of them, you know.
So we just have to wait and see.
Yes, Mr. Newscaster.
I know, I kind of feel like that. Like,
Let's throw it back to you, Mr. Mark.
okay, no, thank you. That's all right.
Just introduced, and he's already bored and wants something else new.
No, you all right? We're going like, look guys.
People ask me email a lot about the 3-inch foam pads.
The 3-inch foam pad?
Is it asking if you're gonna make 3-inch foam pads?
A few people ask. Why are you asking? Because no, we're not going to. At least not right now.
We still have our form pads though.
Unless we get so much outcry. That's always, you know. But look, we were never going to bring M101 to the U.S. And so many people screamed about it. It's okay, geez, calm down. I'll sell it to you. Because you guys all thought that we came up with some crazy new stuff that we'd only sell in Europe and we were withholding it from you. because they only get the good stuff over there. We can't give
And you were.
3-inch pad, 3-inch foam pad's a pretty small market segment. I mean, like the #1 online detailing supply place that we all know of only carries one brand that I think of 3-inch pads on their site. So it can't be a very big
Not a huge market,
dollar
right.
market, yeah.
But they do have 3-inch market fiber.
I understand. I said foam.
And we still have the foam, I mean, don't forget about these,
Yeah,
technically. You know, these are still available, now, these aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, part of the DA power system now,
They
but
aren't going anywhere.
4-inch.
4-inch, that's
Yeah.
as small as we go,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
but you know what? Because those are part of a consumer tool now, those are probably easier to find than they ever were. Really.
yeah,
Yeah.
more locations.
Yeah. So who wants to try that tool and these new discs on Bob's car? 3 of you? 4 of you?
I want to read you guys. Everybody, guys will be on YouTube.
I'm going to have my camera rolling.
Well, I also think
Just for
evidence.
court purposes. Court purposes.
Yes. I also think because it's Bob's car, we should let Bob go
Maybe.
first. We should let Bob go first, because it's his car after all.
I'll run your camera while you're polishing.